Hi guys, I'm back. So, I want to finish where I left off my last video. And what's crazy is that I was talking about this and one of the student nurses, she came in, she asked me, she said, do you ever get scared? And I told her, I said, yes, I do. Because you never know what's going to happen. Like, doctors only can do so much for you. And last night, I had an episode that scared me because I'm in here and I'm thinking about my kids. I'm thinking about my mom. I'm thinking about my life. Like, this is not the end for me. And even though the devil tries to put fear inside of my heart and play tricks on my mind that this is it, I know that this isn't. This isn't it for me. I know that my testimony is going to be heard, and I know that this storm is not going to last forever. Dealing with sickle cell has its ups and downs. Um, I've met quite a few people recently that I didn't even know that you couldn't even tell had sickle cell. And to be honest about it, it was a lot of boys, a lot of males. I've met 3 males in my life that I know had sickle cell, and you didn't even have a clue. Just like they didn't have a clue I had it. And the reason why I say it has its ups and downs because when you meet somebody that has the same thing as you, then y'all relate and y'all bond on a different level, and you can encourage them and you can help them because you already been through it. And this is what I want to do. I want to encourage young adults, young ladies and young men that's dealing with the same thing I'm dealing with, and that's also battling depression and fear of their illness. Because I know the doctors do not have the last say so about my life. Even though when I was younger, a doctor told me I'm not going to live to see 25. And when I say that broke me down, like I cried for days. Like I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm not going to live to see 25. Like, how could a doctor say something like that to me? You're supposed to be a doctor. Like, just because you have a title does not mean they know what they're talking about. Like, it discouraged me and tore my insides up. I was so discouraged because I was like, man, like, why me? This is not fair to me. I didn't ask for this. Like, why me? And then that's when my grandma told me, she said, baby, God knew who you were before you was even born. God knew your life before it even started. She told me, she said, the doctors are just that. But God, that's your Jehovah Jireh. That's your provider. Like, he's the ultimate healer. And he said that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. He died on the cross for me to be healed. And I believed that for a while until 2007. I started having seizures. And I couldn't figure out why I was having seizures. Like, I never had seizures in my life. And I just didn't know where it came from. And that's when fear took over me. And I started losing faith. Because I was like, Is it my time? Like, am I going to die? Am I going to pass? Like, I had the fear and anxiety of leaving, even though sometimes when I got real sick, I was ready to die. I was ready to go and be with my father. Like, I was ready to go. And it was hard because my mom was taking care of all four of us. And and sometimes I needed more attention and more, you know, to be taken care of because I got sick. And it took away from the other kids. And I guess they felt like I was more special than them, but I wasn't. I just dealt with something different. And sometimes I felt like they felt, they hated me because of that. But I hated me because I felt like it wasn't fair that out of all the kids, I had to be the one who gets sick the most. I had to be the kid that missed out on a lot of things, or I had to be the kid because I'm in a hospital for days and weeks at a time, and I couldn't enjoy certain things in life that I wanted to, and it bothered me, and brought up depression upon me, and I was always, and so from there on, I was like always depressed. I was always crying. It's like it was something always wrong, and me not knowing at the time by me being young that was nothing but the devil, and depression was just the devil because I was just so overwhelmed with everything by not knowing nothing about my condition, not knowing nothing about my sickness and what I can do, and not knowing that it's not no cure for me. So when they tell me that it's not a cure for me, I go into like, well, I'm gonna have to live with this for the rest of my life. Like, I'm gonna have to deal with this for the rest of my life. And I have. I've been dealing with this for my whole life. Since I was 3 years old, I've been battling this illness. But through it all, I never just let go. I always held on. I always bounced back. I always came back stronger. And I always went harder because I felt like if I don't, then I'm going to lose. And I felt like if I don't, then I'm not going to achieve nothing. So I always tried to live just freely, carefree, because I feel like I don't know when I'm going to go. I don't know when I'm going to pass. And when I was younger, I always felt like I can go anytime because the doctor told me that I'm not going to live to see 25. The doctor told me I should never have kids, that I can't have kids, do not have kids, because I'm a high risk and my kids can pass. I can, have stillborn children, or my children can come out with sickle cell and not make it, or I can die giving birth. That put fear in me. So imagine being 16, 15 years old, 17, 18, and doctors are telling you this. And imagine what's going through my mind, like, wow, I'm not going to never be able to have kids. Like, wow, I'm not going to be able to never get married. I'm not going to be able to do, what normal people do, all because of my disease. And told me, like, just don't. I listened to that for a long time, and the fear of having kids and the fear of me leaving this world. I feared like my mama, like I worried about my mama so much. I worried about leaving her. And in 2008, my auntie passed. My auntie passed away. And it broke me down. It built up something inside of me that I can't even explain. Because I never got to make amends with her like I wanted to. I didn't get to tell her I love her. I didn't get to tell her, I'm sorry. I didn't get to tell her that she was my auntie, my favorite auntie, the only auntie I knew I had. And when she passed, because she had sickle cell, that brought a dark cloud above me. That brought up a dark cloud. And every time I got sick and had to go to the hospital, I feared of dying in the hospital. I feared of overdosing on medicine and not coming back. Because I was like, my auntie passed. She left. She not coming back. Like, she was tired. And doctors couldn't do nothing else for her. She was on medicine, pain pills after pain pills. And my mama took that hard. She took it very hard. She got sick. My mama got real sick. And for days, I couldn't bear to go look at her like that or see her like that. I couldn't bear to see that my mama didn't know who we were and going through bad anxiety and stuff that she was going through because she couldn't handle my auntie passing like she thought she could. And at the time, it was just me, the kids, my cousins, them, my grandma. Mind you, my daddy was nowhere in the picture. So before anybody ever broke my heart, my daddy did. My daddy broke my heart a long time ago. And that's where I started acting out rebellion, being rebellious, angry, hurt, disappointed. All that triggered everything, the same thing. And when I would get sick, my mama would have to miss days of work and be with me. I didn't have my daddy. I would look to see if he would come. Like, I would look to see if he would look for me to know that his baby is sick. No, he didn't. Like, I would wonder, like, does he even care? Is he even worried about me? Like, what did I ever do for you to just disappear out of my life and never come back until I was 14, 15 years old? And for a long time, I blamed myself. And I was just like, everybody I love just walks out of my life. And that's off subject, but that's what triggered my depression. I went looking for love in all the wrong places and wind up getting hurt even worse. But back to my mama, you know, she got real sick, and that's why I wound up I had to get a job. I remember my first job, Popeyes, and then I worked at Mission Burrito, and I knew I had to help her until she got better. And it took a while for her to get better. It took a while. And then I went in there one day and I hugged my mom and I told her I love her. And I don't know if she understood that or not, but me and my mom had some rocky roads. She was a young mother, and we've had some rocky times in our relationship. Now we the bestest friends, and I love my mama to death. I always have. But it was a point in my life where my mom hurt me so bad, it took me a long time to forgive her. In 2012, I can never forget this day. In a car, we was driving. We was riding. She was driving, and she told me, "Brittany, I'm sorry for anything I've done for you, anything that I've done to you to hurt you, and I hope you forgive me." That's the day I really forgave my mom, because I know my mom was young. I know she was a mother of four, a single mother, and she worked a lot. My mama worked a lot, and kind of was out there on our own. We had our grandma, but she was helping raising my auntie kids, and we didn't have a daddy, so that was out of there. And then she also wanted to live her life. Back then, I didn't understand, but now I do by me being a mother myself. But something occurred between my mom that hurt me very bad, and I'm not gonna go into detail about it, but basically, it was like abuse, and I called CPS, and my mom got mad. She put me out. I went and lived with my grandma, basically, and I felt like my mama was angry at me a lot. Like sometimes I felt like my mom just hated me. I felt like she blamed, like it's my fault, you know, for a lot of things that she went through, and a lot of things was my fault, as far as me being a kid and how I acted in school. But I felt like she felt like I ruined her life because she had me so young, and she I felt she blamed me for that. And sometimes I would tell her, like, I didn't ask to be here because I didn't. But, you know, by her being a young mother, a young parent, she had a lot of growing up to do as well. But neither here nor there. It took a lot out of me when my mama put me out and I went to stay with my grandma, because I felt like my mom is all I had. Because I felt abandoned by my daddy. I felt abandoned by, I felt my grandma played favoritism between me and my cousins. I felt abandoned by my daddy. And then when my mom put me out, I felt betrayed. I felt low. I felt alone and by myself. Even though I wasn't, that's just how I felt. Because I felt my mom was supposed to always be there. Like she would never turn her back on me. And at that time, we was dealing with a lot. It was a lot going on. But I finally forgave her, and I understood what she was going through. And ever since then, I've been close, back even closer to my mom. Like, I love my mama to death. Another person who I felt tore us apart was me and my cousin. Me and my cousin was real close. Like, we used to do everything together. We was first cousins, we used to hang out together, like boys together, everything, until my cousin started dealing with a particular person. And he told her that I tried to talk to him, which was not true. And me and her got into it real bad. And ever since that day, it drew a wedge between us, and me and her have not been close the same ever since. We have not been close the way we was since that day. And that hurted me so bad. And that caused me to go into another deep depression because I felt like she should have knew that I would never do that to her. She should have known I would never in life hurt her in that type of way, especially over a dude. But I've been working on my depression and learning how to forgive those who hurt me and those who I hurt. I I say this to say that my life is a testimony itself. It's been plenty of times where my mom thought she was going to lose me. And by me having a praying grandma, God kept me. God kept me a lot of times. Times that I felt like I just didn't want to be kept. That I was ready to go. But it wasn't my time. It wasn't my time. And this is why it wasn't my time. Because I have a testimony that somebody needs to hear. And with this journey that I'm going to be telling, it's a lot. And it don't end. And my journey is still continuing. Because after I get out of here, I still have a journey to go. God still has plans for me. God has doors to open for me that I don't even know. Because last night I thought I was leaving. I thought I was losing. I went into a bad anxiety. I couldn't breathe. I fainted. All on the technicality of fear. Because when I'm in here, I'm fearful. Because I'm here by myself. And I'm here and I'm taking all this medicine, and look at me. I'm on IVs, monitors, heart monitors, and I just have a fear that, like, it's my time, but it's not. And I feel better talking to y'all about this because I'm releasing it. And God is showing me that thou shalt not fear. And that I should live. And this is why I'm living. I have a testimony. I have a story to tell. And I'm going to tell it. But for today, I just want y'all to know that I appreciate y'all for watching and going on this journey with me. And to continue watching, and I'm going to continue post. And when I get out of here, my journey is still going to continue because I have 3 beautiful kids out there waiting for me that I live for. And I love them. And I keep them in mind when I'm in here that I have to get better for them. they are my rock. Like, they are who I fight for. I'm fighting for them. So, until the next time, thank you. My name is Brittany Roberts, and this is my journey.